It's Friday. It's May 19th. It's 2023. Um, I'm watching a couple of different movie pieces that they've put out. I'm also watching some of the current events. Um, I'm concerned on so many levels. During my study here, I was part of something called the Global Real Estate Institute. Um, and I went to the American Real Estate School located in Hapog. I received a certificate there for whatever the Americans needed to communicate to my person. Inside there is something called an eminent domain. Um, Part of my banking career in New York as a North American, um, they spoke of something called a sheetment, to be escheated, um, if there's some form of abandoned property. Now, I'm looking at the symbols for the federal system. I'm looking at the faces of my ancestors. I'm looking at the eminent domain, the dominant pieces of management, what their portraits look like in art work for this area. I'm also looking at the US Treasury building on the back of it. And then I am looking at what one of the children of the media company are alerting residents like myself. Nora O'Donnell, a reporter with a professional media company, is announcing the story of these top professionals inside some U.S. system called the Air Force. Now, in my lifetime, I had presidential physical fitness test. I had the Air Force come in and make sure that my body was born physically fit and in order for whatever. I suppose for military if need be. But there is bloodlines with portrait in this area with science backing it. They call it an Rh negative blood group within the ABO system. It's just how it's classified or just how it's declassified. I don't really know how to even verbalize that, but that is what they have told me. It poses medical issue, and then it poses environmental issue, and then it poses a potential problem with some of the other stock of genetics called Rh positive. There's only two choices. You're either Rh negative or you're Rh positive. And the Rh positive, some are easily discernible. I can tell the difference. And some are really difficult in order to be able to visually distinguish them without a specific blood test. Now, what I don't understand is in my life frame, the United States system essentially denied me access by quietly quitting me or not pursuing me for these high-level official military positions. So they left me as something else. But then it's very difficult because then there's some other larger fight going on at levels that I don't even have words to communicate other than simple vernacular for vocation of I'm Rh negative and I feel like I am in serious trouble. There is in the local area here, I'll go up to what's in this Air Force, what got a career in the Air Force when I was not offered this, even the within the US system, and with having eminent domain and with having that hierarchy system in place with security backing. This means there's security backing these children. So I don't, and then the security force, they label the military, is not even attempting to hire me? How does that work? I mean, these are signals and signs of a larger problem going on in North America. Now, today, I was on the PTA, Parent Teacher Association, Zoom call the other night, and the principal of my son's local elementary school informs me that the city is sending to the local hotel called Anchor Hotel. They were sending single males with no children as some kind of migrant issue. Then they said that they were taking the males away and they were putting families with children inside there. Now, within the school zone, that means that they go to my son's school. They don't speak English, they speak Spanish, and they do not look like the security-backed population of United States of America. They don't look North American. So they don't even look, I mean, he's like the only RH negative I can discern by visual look in that school. And he's surrounded by RH positives from multiple nationalities. And they're only teaching them to read and write. Where is my son's future? On Earth. Where is his future? Where are his ancestors fighting for his freedom and fighting for his future? I'm just curious. Because I see them fighting and advocating for a whole lot of things, and my son is not one of them. So this morning, I get to school and I witnessed this new group of non-English speaking humans in an RH positive blood group standing at the front door of the school wanting to get in to classrooms, and they are not even equipped. They have Spanish speaking people in the area, but now this is a financial burden on the school, which is already burdened and not even giving my son the proper resources. And there's some corporate sponsor somewhere in the United States system that could have taken my sons and put them in high positions of affluence and influence and have ignored my children completely. Instead, same thing with my season. But my father was followed by something that calls himself Lord, immoral. So that's the Dark Lord. And he has something to do with Facebook, with Meta, with technology. And he just informed my father he bought an investment in a gold mine. These are signals to me that my father and my life are in danger and have been for a very long time without any access to governmental secure or military secure help in correcting our very real position as RH negatives amongst the RH positives. So now here's what this Air Force thing looks like. That they're alerting me that this is what, and now here, this is has collar brass that says he's US. He's got symbols on his shirt that says that he's US. So that means that my dollar system and my eminence domain with the security backing is lead on whatever pays for him and whatever governance is working over wherever he is. But now my locally controlled area, it seems to be out of control. I don't know who's putting this mayor in an administrative position. I don't know who took over Department of Education. I don't know who's funding it. I don't know who's withholding funding from my son from gaining access to his own security-backed position that he's an ancestor of and supposed to be a benefactor of. Well, I see a whole lot of new changes in North America, and I don't know who is the driving force. It looks somewhere in the Rh positive cat of blood groups like some kind of gang-related cartel bullshit.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and this Saturday is Armed Forces Day, a chance to honor America's heroes who served and those currently serving. We sat down with two of the top Air Force leaders to find out what they'll be celebrating and what they hope for years to come. It's been 50 years since the military became an all-volunteer force. And while the bravery of the men and women who serve as...
They keep saying that. What I don't understand is then, if that's the case, the Rh negative children who have the security backed armed forces and like the US system in presidential history leading up to my birth here, why weren't we actively sought out and just absorbed by the military with active duty services, education, and constant communication with us? Why was I left out in the field to tend to myself and to try to self-educate while all of this system above me seems to be breaking and affecting things like my father's ability to succeed financially in order to give me the correct education and the correct pathway and the correct introductions? Instead, he's got some dark lord following him around, eating up all of his potential career-building years.
Changed, the challenges facing them have. What can be done to make it easier for people to enter the Air Force and stay in the Air Force?
There's 5 key things that impact military families.
And now I look at Google, billion-dollar American company at the moment, or at least it's here in it's actively working inside of the United States. And it's being run with something in this Rh positive epidermal group of genetics. And then there's corporate sponsorship problems that I'm concerned with, and how it's appropriated, and then what givebacks with chairs that they want. So that's where the eminent dominance of the 10% left on this planet that has a completely, I mean, I shouldn't have to be coming out with this level of message, because there is some existing family service, corporate service, and global service, but yet I'm not being serviced. I don't even have the same opportunities as some person born in India who was given some extraordinary funding opportunity to put him at the head of the class in a US government system that's security backed by my bloodline. And I'm not getting anywhere near the same opportunity in order to return back to the level I need to be performing at. Second to that, I'm in the field and there are enhancing chemical weaponry via automobile industry in order to intoxify and carcinogenically poison my air, my water, and my human genetic. And I don't even have a place to call in order to report. And I will also say that things that look in this category have also been playing around with the monetary system, buying out hospitals and changing the hospital staff, forcing the hospitals to hire a Caribbean portfolio of humans that they trafficked into the New York area at some point in like a 2001, 2002 time frame, where the locals had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, like, the whole staff changed. And and there was staffing companies involved, which means, is that a military push at like Army level? Is that an Air Force level? Again, this gets really sloppy and messy, and it only looks like weakness to me in the field. And that's a problem when you look at signaling to outside.
Families, childcare, education, housing, healthcare, and spouse employment. Those are the things that really help us with the retention and support our, not only our military members, but more importantly, our military families.
I used to have a Long Island Jewish doctor system, and I know there was a high population of Jewish people that have Rh negative blood. I felt safe in their hands. What I don't see any longer, it looks like they were bought out or taken out and replaced with some Rh positive group studying, researching, and trying to enhance some epigenetic research facility that now when I go in, it looks chaotic, it looks third world nation, and I no longer feel safe in the healthcare system. Who took out my security feature that was built by the Long Island Jewish community in my life frame? They I trusted and felt protected by, but now I feel completely abandoned by. Same, I should mention, I used to have a North American, New York National Guard with the GI Bill in Levittown and whatnot. And then all of a sudden around 2006, there was like some mass exodus. Am I to think that they're called defectors? Can they be brought back to New York and forced, if they're in the service, to defend me in this area? Since now I'm looking and I really don't see anything that even the National Guard promotion and like call up to be a National Guardsman looks very much like this. I no longer feel safe. I just don't. There's been too many changes, and I've been held in a position with two Rh positive males that I can't even have a safe companionship with for multiple reasons. And yet it just completely goes unaddressed. I don't see any active, like, where is my lifelong ability to find a companion that I can feel like a woman amongst? Why do I have to dress like a man, bark like a man, in order to even be heard? This is absolutely absurd.
Air Force Chief of Staff General C.Q. Brown Jr. and Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Joanne Bass are both firsts in their roles.
We're going to take out the air defenses first.
Brown, the first.
They're going to take out the air defenses first. Of what? Why am I not even having an active communication with anything human about what they're up to? If it's security and family backed by the eminence. I mean, like, these are the prominence. Providential, these are the leaders of the security backed system. That's how it was formed. That's how history was written. That's how history was taught in North America. There's a European American tie system of the genetics that have this backing. So I'm not clear where I'm having any problems. Where is my family security? Where is my corporate security? Where is my global security amongst this military that didn't even attempt to bring me in and teach me their culture and their ways? Who is running them? Is it still safe? Who are these prominent features in the shadows that are still linked with this system? These are frightening questions I never wanted to ask, but here we are. Here's another thing. I'm whatever this color is, and the original Little Mermaid and Ariel looked very much like my genetic upbringing and who I am. Now, without my permission, without asking, the corporate level of Disney decided to totally change Ariel and present her as a Little Mermaid in some other, in an RH positive inside of a different genetic grouping within the 90% category, might I add. And again, these are signals. There was a reason why it was made originally in an RH negative looking whatever at 10% left on the population. And then some corporate security person did something, made some kind of vote, didn't ask me for my vote if it would be okay or not, and then totally changed the visual determination to be this. And it's through the Walt Disney Corporation. That's a major concern for me. Why are they changing it? I won't watch it. I think it's absolutely disgusting. But they are so excited and they're promoting it like it's this great thing. No, it's not. Why did it change? Why was it done originally? And why did it change? And who is behind, who funded it, who voted for it, who changed the internal laws and got the vote for it? And are they a concern that I should be worried about that I can't see or speak or hear from? Because I've got other communication problems in the field.
Yes, everybody was singing in the theater. Welcome back to CBS Mornings. That, of course, is the voice of Tony and Grammy Award winner. Thank you very much.
I'm not supporting these efforts. I'm not. I don't know who is, but it's part of a larger problem that's going on right now and has been for some time. Now, here's them speaking. Here's what Congress now looks like. And they make mention of this Dianne Feinstein, who is a senator. Fine. And then it goes into this other man, and they're telling me, they're announcing that he's a lawmaker. I'm like, now, how did he get to be a lawmaker and I'm not? I'm part of the 10% with the security backing and the history at eminent domain. Why am I not in a lawmaking position? And when did he supersede my voice and my authority inside of the United States system at Homeland? Was that a problem with corporate leadership, global leadership? Was that a problem at family security? I'm just curious.
Times reporter asked her about her return to the Senate.
I haven't been going. I've been working.
You've been working from home, is what you're saying?
Oh, I've been here.
I think she should step down.
California Congressman Ro Khanna is one of several lawmakers demanding.
Several lawmakers. I didn't have the same opportunity. I don't see my sons being offered the same opportunity to secure their future here within the United States of America or the U.S. system, period. Even though their ancestors are still on the currency. Current events, currency, Now here, I mentioned this one last night. Here's a movie, A-Team. There's someone in the shadows, which is kind of how I feel this Alexander Hamilton is. Just, it's an ancestor. It's very really a part of our history. It's part of our currency. It's security backed, but it's in the shadows outside of my purview. And what happens is they send in 2 guard dogs after this man to try to disrupt him, to try to tear him to shreds. And then in the shadows, something happens. He handcuffs the two dogs together, and then they come out and they walk away. And then he exits the building. That's my level of family security. So I just need that because I have some things I need to correct, and I don't know where else to go. I've been reporting in at the Red Cross. No, I don't want to get upset with protein. PRO, then there's a T, and then there's the Eins. Yeah, Eins, Zwei, Drei. Yeah, got it. I'm not trying to aggravate family service members of a whatever, but I got some real serious issues in like Vive la France avec moi. I mean, but then again, they were angered by other people, so je ne sais pas, non, so I don't know. And I know these are my heroes in my story. I just don't know how to thank them. When there's guard dogs coming after me and they step in and they do the superhero work for family security. Now, I was watching this Jason Bourne Identity this morning, just looking for some clues. And again, there were whatever inside of there, but they use this word amnesia. Now, I don't know if that's the level of education they wanted me to grow up with, some kind of amnesia, like what World War, like, because that's like who was fighting who. I mean, there wasn't enough time in the day. And now we're up to some artificial intelligence. And it is an even more frightening set of circumstances because I don't know where it's fettered. Where is the fettered tie? Is it where their feet are within this metaverse? At Universal, one verse, and then being in the metaverse. And then somebody I heard once was trying to sell real estate in the metaverse. Eminence domain on that. And now here's this AI piece with the seniors, which was my original concern when I was young. And I suppose you could use the word astral plane. I don't know who that's recognized by. I think it's recognized by the CIA. But it was on my own life frame as part of the last existing 10% that then looks over as guardians of the other 90%. I mean, again, throughout history, throughout multiple religions, throughout multiple anthropological references, throughout, I mean, has been mentioned that we are here amongst the others. And I mean, again, last night inside Jason Bourne Identity, they also mentioned Athena, the statue of Athena. I know that that's incredibly important in Greek history.
This week's 60 Minutes looks at how advances in artificial intelligence are helping scammers. According to the FBI, Americans lost more than $10 billion in cyber-enabled fraud in 2022 alone. Correspondent Sharon Alfonsi spoke with an ethical...
Now, did that begin at the Royal Armed Forces level and then slowly broke out in some non-royal controlled military? that is now like, I'm trying not to say, I want to be positive on this because fearful of other repercussions. However, it looks like the royal, like military controlled technology is now been placed in the hands of the 90%, and it looks like there's some other fight going on. And I see it like everywhere I look, and I don't see steps being taken to rectify the situation.
Ethical hacker named Rachel Toback. Ethical hackers can be hired by companies to test networks and help fix vulnerabilities. In this case, Toback helped demonstrate how easy it can become to scam someone with information found online. Here's a preview.
Toback says hackers no longer need to infiltrate computers through a back door. She says 95% of hacks today happen after a user clicks on a text, a link, or gives personal information over the phone.
You were able to hack my colleague Elizabeth, who is a tech savvy millennial. What does that tell you?
Anybody can be hacked. Anybody can fall for what Elizabeth fell for. In fact, when I do that type of attack, every single time the person falls for it.
She said hackers armed with basic information like a relative's name found online or an app that can mimic a voice or change the caller ID can create a convincing story.
If you were to receive a phone call, a text message, an email, and it's asking for something sensitive, urgent, or with fear, that's when the alarm bells have to go off in your head and they want me to give something to them. I'm going to take a beat and I'm going to check that this person is who they say they are. I call it being politely paranoid.
Politely paranoid.
Being politely paranoid.
This is a must watch to see how the hacker got one over on Elizabeth and what you can do to prevent cyber fraud. Catch Sharon's full 60 Minutes report this Sunday right here on CBS.
Ooh, I like that phrase, politely paranoid.
How about that?
But I like what she said. Well, it's a little daunting, a little scary, though, when she says everybody falls for it, no matter who you are, no matter how tech savvy you are.
But when the machines can create a voice that sounds like your relative,
That's scary.
Yeah.
that's trouble as well.
And all of that included with the fact that we do everything on our phones. Everything.
Yeah.
The days where we used to write checks or, send faxes, that's over. Long gone.
And we just click stuff automatically. I had new information about the health of Senator Dianne.
It's just, for me, that's just the breakdown of like there used to be like a human system which put brakes on things and slowed things down, made them a little more less efficient. Less efficiency is sometimes good, especially for the guardians trying to protect certain asset and like, again, between FS, CS, and GS inside that, whatever they do for a living. And now it just feels like these things have been eroded away, and it's just, it's problematic on an epic scale from what I can visually ascertain and from what I'm hearing in the field. I'm going to pause this for a second. Now, here's another thing I don't understand. Like in the movies, and in the field that I've seen, when they come in their fatigues or they have their uniform on with a flag, even a pin, it has the United States of America flag. But now why, if it's internally domestic United States of America, why is it not two American flags? And then if they are foreign services, why is it not the American flag and whatever that other flag is at the UN that works with the US? So this way, by visual, you can identify easily who it is when they're in front of you and what they're working for or with in your local area. Why is it not that crystal clear to identify whatever's working in military services? Now, just for what kind of work am I doing at the moment with the Red Cross other than just checking in? This is the flag system. That's the identifiable pattern I'm in. And they sent me from the Red Cross Zion a Happy Mother's Day card, which I thought, or it just says Mother's Day, with love, and then Zion Care Team, which I thought was really, really special, and I thank you. I was not expecting it. It was very unexpected, but it was really wonderful to receive via the U.S. Post mail. So it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.